Hello, this is DisturbingPuppet back again for some more Blood Bowl 2. So today we're actually going to be doing the final game. So it's a championship game. The playoffs just had the top 4 teams in it, which was my team, the Skaven team, a Necromantic team, and Chaos Dwarf team. So my previous game was my playoff game against the Skaven, who I defeated to make it into the final, and then we have the Chaos Dwarves who defeated the Necromantic team to make it into the final. So today's going to be the final game of this season with my High Elves. Kind of been playing them because I wanted to do something a little bit different. My typical experience is often playing kind of bruiser teams, so I wanted to kind of force myself to think about things a little differently, play a different kind of team. I did really enjoy playing Wood Elves in the previous game on my 360, so just wanted to try to do some stuff more agile, kind of focus with my team, my level ups, what I'm doing. So definitely been a lot more pass heavy in this game, and it's been pretty good, actually. I do like the High Elves quite a bit. I like that their catchers have a 3 strength, so they're a little bit tougher than a lot of the other team's catchers. I can handle a lot more stuff, different kind of situations with them, so I can use them as blitzers and as catchers, use them to score the ball, as well as taking out opponents, that kind of thing. So I'm streaming this a bit later than I usually do, so hopefully we'll actually get some viewers. I know it's a couple hours later than I would normally be starting something, but hopefully somebody will check it out, and if not, I will upload this eventually to my YouTube channel as well, which is also DisturbingPuppet. You can check out older streams there, previous season playing Chaos Dwarves, and then the earlier parts of this season with the High Elves as well. Not sure what I'll be doing next. I'll probably be doing a follow-up with the Mordheim game that I've been playing. I've actually been playing a lot of Mordheim lately. Things are going pretty well. Just kind of a quick update on that. I'm not streaming like every match or kind of competition with them that I'm doing. Just kind of occasionally a little bit of information about the game. I didn't think there was that much interest in an older game like that. So yeah, not sure what exactly I'll be doing next. Maybe an update on my Mordheim stuff, and then a couple other random games. We'll see what happens. XCOM 2 is tempting for later down the road, as is something like a point-and-click adventure game. I'm not sure, kind of the stuff I grew up with, that kind of thing maybe. But anyway, continuing on, so this is the championship game. I do have a much higher team rating than my opponents who made it in as well, so they're going to get all kinds of money for star player points and awful stuff like that. So that's a little concerning. The Chaos Dwarves did actually beat me up pretty bad in the last game I played against them, but I did beat them. They just kind of beat up my team and took out some of my guys, gave me some injuries, that kind of thing. So I'll kind of run through the teams really quick, and then we'll get into the game. So I think I have all of my players back. Yeah, it looks like everybody's here. So I do have one thrower who's received a bunch of level ups. I got Strong Arm early on, then added Kickoff Return and Accurate, so he's quite good at passing the ball. A few catchers here that I picked up Dodge and Block with. I'm using them kind of both as blitzers and as receivers. One of them has had a reduction in his armor value, but oh well. My one blitzer here that's leveled up a few times, tackle, strip ball, and then I got an increase in movement just most recently. My other blitzer down here still just needs 1 star player point to increase, and it just has block. And then I've got a few linemen here with block. One of whom has lost a point of armor value. Also have a guy here with guard and block, but reduced movement allowance. So that is a little bit of a negative, but not too bad. A couple of catchers I picked up later. One of them has a damage back, so if he gets injured, it's a little bit more serious, but Nerves of Steel and Dodge there. And then the other one also has the same Nerves of Steel and Dodge. So even though I've been playing this game quite a bit, I still don't really like the icons quite so much. I really wish it would just list the skills. So yeah, a little background on me. I have been playing since 2nd edition board game, played Undead there, and then played quite a bit on the previous version of the game on my 360, but a lot of the teams weren't on there. So mainly been playing the teams that weren't there, so Undead, Chaos Dwarves, and now High Elves. I do still want to play Norse and some other teams. I'm not sure if I'll be doing that next or anything, though. So the Chaos Dwarves who are making it in, take a look at them. So we've got Sure Hands and Kick. So I'm assuming that must be Sure Hands. More Sure Hands. Hobgoblin with Kick. So a couple of guys with Kick. A lot of guards here, unfortunately, with these Chaos Dwarf blockers. They're already pretty tough with block, tackle, and thick skull, and that's often, when I was playing, that was one of the things that was my high priority to pick up was guard. We've got Dauntless, Stand Firm, no. And then this must be Dauntless here. Mighty Blow, okay, yeah, that's just goes to show how I don't really recognize a lot of the icons quite so much. So, Bull Centaur, just picked up block, make him a little bit tougher. And then some goblins with nothing. I'm sure he's going to pick a bunch of star players. So before we get into it, yeah, I have a lot of experience playing the board game and the previous version of the game. This game I've just kind of played through a campaign with the Undead, Chaos Dwarves, and then the High Elves. I will occasionally make mistakes or miss things. Even though I have a lot of experience playing, I'm not an expert player. I will miss things. I'll make mistakes. I'll overlook stuff, especially when I'm streaming. I'm kind of giving you a stream of consciousness as I'm playing and trying to put my thoughts into words and stuff. Sometimes I'll miss some stuff. But basically, I'm going to try to include some tips for newer players, things to think about, and then just kind of my general thought process as we're going through. So I'm definitely worried to see what kind of stuff he's going to get here. I'm not going to spend any of my money on anything because it will increase the amount of money he'll have for stuff. 3 extra team trainings. Halfling Master Chef to steal my rerolls, and a couple star players. I think this is either the Chainsaw or Fanatic Goblin, and then the Chaos Dwarf star player with the weird, freaky 4 arms, like the 2 baby arms under his regular arms. I'll have to take a look at them when we're doing the setup and stuff, and check out their skills and stuff. It is pretty hot in here. It's been kind of windy, so there might be some wind noise, and I've got a fan going, but it's also like 80 degrees outside, so hopefully the fan and the wind isn't too noisy. Yeah, there's 4-armed Chaos Dwarf there, Chainsaw Goblin. Freaky little baby arms. Chainsaw. So again, this is the championship game. I just had 8 teams in the kind of competition playing. So I had all the teams play all the other teams twice, and then going into the playoffs, just top 4 teams. So really it was just one playoff game, and then this is the final. So I defeated the Skaven in the previous game to get into the final. The Chaos Dwarves defeated Necromantic to get into the final. So here I usually will take the choice of kicking the ball, because that means I'll get the ball in the second half. I like getting the ball in the second half to kind of ensure that I've got a chance at getting the score later. If you're playing a really weak or fragile team, you might want to go first, because you can kind of get your hits in first that way, instead of your opponent getting his hits on you. So he's going to steal a couple of my rerolls here. So what I've been doing is just kind of keeping the minimum of 3 players on the front line. I do have some guys with guard. I've got a lot of guys with block I can throw on the line, but he's got the increased strength and some increased stats on his guys. He's got a lot more guys with guard, so it's not really a fight I can win. So I'm just going to keep the minimum number of guys there. It allows me to respond a little bit better to what's going on if my guys start the turn free. So we're going to do more of a little bit further back defensive line. Just looking for my player with guard. This is kind of a typical formation I've been using with this team. Just kind of the minimum number of 3 guys on the front line. I've got a little bit further back, defensive line. Keeping my player with guard free instead of putting him in the front line. That way I can use him on my turn and put him where I want for advantageous blocks. I think I'm going to switch my players with block out to the sides, though. The catchers with block, that is. These 2 inner guys just have the Nerves of Steel, dodge, and stuff. So just the minimum number of guys there. We have my thrower back just in case things go horribly wrong. If I'm playing a more bruiser team, I'd probably put 5 guys on the line, either filling in these spots or having 3 in the center and then 1 out on each edge. Depending, you might want to put guys right on the front line. Since I'm kicking, I'm setting up first. I don't know what his setup is going to be. Probably something similar. He's going to have a lot of guys in the front line. Going to beat me up, I'm sure. But I want to kind of reduce the number of guys he can beat up for free. He only has 1 blitz action a turn, so he's only got 3 guys starting adjacent. So a maximum 4 guys getting hit. Hopefully that means less injuries. Hopefully. It's Blood Bowl, so you know if things can go wrong, they will go wrong. It's just kind of the way it is. Unusual setup here. This X here just kind of marked the center position, and I usually just kick for that. I just want the ball to stay in play if possible. I don't have kick, and it does deviate quite a bit. And I can actually change my setup. So it's going to land right there. That's good. So it'll be in play somewhere. I don't have a lot of good choices for movement here. I do have some guys right on the line here, which is kind of interesting. And nobody here, so I'm going to reposition a little bit further up here just to make it easier for me to get towards the ball. I've got my increased movement blitzer here, so we can try to head that direction. Maybe take out the guy on the side and head in. But I think everything else can pretty much stay the way it is, relatively fine. I still just want to limit the number of guys who are going to get pounded on. And I am going to get pounded on in this game, I'm sure. So I'm just playing this on my laptop. So basically I just got a gaming laptop about a year ago, and kind of, if I'm playing certain things, I just figured why not stream it, and then I'm putting up stuff later also on YouTube. Chainsaw Goblin is going to pick up the ball. Okay. But just kind of messing around a little bit with it, so just kind of using the built-in microphone and everything. And it's not a great setup, but just certain things that if I'm playing, people might be interested in watching. Why not? Now with these guys, I know they're going to get hit. It'd be nice if they can stay on their feet, but as long as there's no injuries or anything, it's basically fine. And like there, just a push because we both have block. So the block skill's incredibly useful. Okay. So Blood Bowl, of course, you want to do anything safe first, so anything that doesn't require die rolls typically. Getting guys up, it depends. If you just want to leave them where they are, then you can get them up. With an agile team, I do have a good chance of dodging away if I want to. So if I want to dodge these guys out of this position, then I would probably wait to do that. I don't mind using 2 guys to tie up 3 here in this kind of position, so I'm just going to stand these guys up. Does mean more hits I'm probably going to take, but if I can use 2 guys to tie up 3 of his, it's okay. Especially the Bull Centaur, who's his main blitzer. So my plan was probably to attack on this side because I have a little bit more movement with the blitzer here. Also have strip ball. Things are pretty open on this side though too. So it's tempting to go that way. But I think instead we'll just run around the side here. Kind of close in towards the ball carrier. So we can threaten him from multiple different directions, make it a little bit difficult for him to build a cage around him. With Chaos Dwarves, kind of like the Lizard Men to an extent, you have this Hobgoblins are mainly going to be the ones handling the ball, so if you can hurt them or take them out, then it might be a little bit easier down the road if you can get injuries in. It's a little bit easier with Lizard Men because the Skinks do have Stunty. So they basically, when you injure them, there's an increased chance of an injury, the injury is more likely to be serious, that kind of thing. So I may try to target Hobgoblin here. I have to move him first. So again, if I wanted to get a hit somewhere, but I think we've got to do the blitz over on this side, take this guy out, try to chase down towards the ball. So what I'm actually going to do is move the catcher up for the assist, and then use the blitzer to blitz, hit him, hopefully take him down, and then we can run him down towards the ball carrier. Got to watch my clock here too. I could try to go for it here to get adjacent, but he does have a chainsaw. I don't really want to be adjacent to him unless I have to. If it was a regular goblin, sure, but chainsaw, no thanks. I do want to hit him if I can, because he's more likely to take an injury because of the chainsaw. So I think what I'm going to do is just move my guy with assist here so I can get an advantageous block on the lone Chaos Dwarf. I'll position him, just sort of covering the edge here, so I've got tackle zone coverage all the way across. I'm going to keep my thrower down here deep. Not sure what I'm going to do here with this catcher. I think for now we'll just put him adjacent here, so if he does get him up, if no one else comes over, I might have a chance to block and knock him off the field. So I'll just throw my one advantageous block that I have here. That's pretty much it, so we're just going to keep him deep here just in case. With slower teams like Dwarves and Chaos Dwarves, at least some of the players on the Chaos Dwarf team are pretty slow. If I can make him overreact to one side of the field, then it's a little bit easier for me to... Oh, he's going to get him up. It's a little bit easier for me to then do something... hopefully he's not going to take this guy out. Right, most of them are quite slow, so if I can get him to overcommit to one side or the other, then I can sort of redirect the other way. If I can attack from multiple different angles, it makes him a little bit harder for him to cover. Mostly he's going to be using hobgoblins here to cover the ball carrier, most likely, which is much better than using the Chaos Dwarf blockers to do it. But he does have one free here. He is going to make it pretty hard to get to the ball carrier here, though. Here he's just going to continue to beat up my poor guys. And now his Bull Centaur is free as well. So we'll see. He's not going to move him at all. Okay. Well, then you can stand up. Sort of keep them busy. Do have a good block here to try to push this guy off the field. That would be nice. How far can you get? He's a little bit slow, but I can get him over to attack from the corner of the cage he's kind of building here. I probably want to move him away from this position, so I might wait to get him up and then try to dodge out and move around to another spot. So my priority here is to try to break into the cage a little bit. So I probably will do that first, as far as anything revolving die rolling. Move him up for an assist so I can get another advantageous block there, just in case. So I'm going to go ahead and do the blitz and try to break up the corner of this cage.
Is the assist going to be enough to come out on top?
And I'm not going to follow up, actually. Just going to position myself in a way to sort of block forward progress on this side, make it a little bit harder. Hopefully I can push this guy off and they'll have another guy free over here I can bring over to do the same on the other side. Just going to try to tie up his hobgoblins here if I can.
Smells like a good old-fashioned fight.
So I'm going to go ahead and try to take this. All I need is a push. Hopefully it'll work out okay. So even though he's not injured, he'll still be out until play stops. So that'll give me a little bit of an advantage as far as having more guys on the field than he does. And I'm moving in a position here where I've got tackle zone coverage all the way out to the edge. I'm not adjacent to anybody here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get him up and try to move him out of this position. I'm going to fail on 83%. So even 83% can fail. Yeah, like I said, if anything can go wrong in Blood Bowl, it will. And just kind of moving in an area where I've got guys from different positions I can try to attack the cage he's building. And we'll go for this, or I've got an advantageous block. Could have pushed him there, but wouldn't make much difference. I didn't really want to end up next to the Bull Centaur either. And this leaves me in a position where I'm still at an advantage, strength-wise, keeping him deep just in case things go wrong. So I really just need to get to the ball. If I can get it free. So I'll just take a look here. I do have to tab out to kind of check the comments. I was just looking at Grod386, asking if it wasn't worth a 5+ dodge into the cage, hit the chainsaw guy. Possibly. It's a little risky, having a 1 in 3 chance. I don't really push it quite that much. There's a lot of times when you have opportunities that are very risky. Early on in the game, I don't necessarily like taking those kind of risks. So yeah, I could have moved somebody in to try to get a block on him. This guy still would have been in this position for me to get a block. I'd have to dodge in at a -3 to the position in order to get a block. Even if I canceled the tackle zones, I'd still have an advantage because he's a 2 strength. It's the dodge that would be a little difficult. To me, seems a little bit more risky than just trying to tie him up and burn down some time here. So I'm playing it a little bit safe. There are definitely times when you can do some really crazy risky stuff in Blood Bowl. Even safe things sometimes will go wrong. Sometimes the crazy risky stuff will go fine. It just kind of depends on your luck of that day. How lucky are you feeling? And a KO, unfortunately. I never use an Apothecary on a KO. I don't know why anybody would. You just have the 1 use per turn. He's not going very far. Yeah, I've got a pretty good chance here of getting in from the back. I can cancel the Hobgoblin's tackle zone and then use my player with a strip ball to hit the ball carrier. So even if I just get a push, he'll lose the ball. The AI does this a lot. I don't know why. It's really crazy. It'll do these really nutty to me sort of blocks where it's at a disadvantage, so I get to pick the results. Sometimes it actually works well. I've had entire games where the AI's done it dozens of times and it works out okay. I have a hard time even with a single die, even if I have a skill advantage, sometimes goes horribly wrong for me. So it just sort of depends. And here I'm just going to sort of plan on tying these guys up. If I need to later, I can dodge them out, hopefully, if the ball ends up making it further down this direction. I'm going to go ahead and shift over a little bit so I can make it all the way to the edge with my thrower, just in case things go horribly wrong. And, you know, it's Blood Bowl, so things could go horribly wrong. So having my player with guard here definitely helps. So I can move him into a position like this. So we can cancel the tackle zones, gives me an advantageous block here. I can use him then to blitz and hit the ball carrier. Just looking if I want to do any other movement first. I want to leave some guys free in case the ball does come loose somewhere. Like I said earlier, I have a lot of experience playing kind of bruiser teams, so my instincts often are to do a lot of hitting and kind of make openings and go from there, which is something I'm trying to fight against a little bit. So of course my instinct first, before anything, is to hit this guy. I probably should go for the block on the ball carrier first, because it's a bit more important. So I guess that's what I'll do. Since I've got tackle, we'll take him down. I'll push him this way. Hopefully the ball will end up going that direction. I'm actually going to stay put here. See where the ball goes. Decide what happens. Hopefully the chaos or the chainsaw guy will get injured here. Just a stun. I don't know why I said chaos. Now we'll go ahead and throw this block where I've got an advantage. See if we can do some damage. Really like to target the hobgoblins if I can. Now we just have a couple guys on the ball. I still could pick it up. I don't have anybody with sure hands to get automatic rerolls. I still have some rerolls. I could try for it. I don't feel super confident about it. That's for sure. So more confident and comfortable for me would just be to move adjacent to the hobgoblin here, have another guy adjacent to the ball to make it more difficult for him to pick up. I could try for the ball, but it seems a bit risky to me. It's a -2, so with my 4 agility, it's not a terrible chance of picking it up. I also don't mind necessarily burning some time here if it takes a little bit. I've got some of his guys further back here. If I can tie them up because they're so slow and keep the Chaos Dwarves away, then I might be okay beating up on some hobgoblins. Here I'm just going to tie this guy up. I don't want him moving into the party we've got going on. And so I'm just going to kind of play it safe here. We'll just move around. Probably want to get him away from the Bull Centaur if I can. Although he's not a bad person, having blocked to be there next to him. There's a guy there. I was looking at running through there, but there's a body in that space. So really, I just kind of want to get as many people towards this area as I can if I can attack from different directions. Hopefully things will stay... Hopefully he'll screw up picking up the ball, something like that. Unfortunately, he's going down. Stun is unfortunate, but not too terrible. He's doing kind of risky things. One-die blocks are a little bit risky when there's other things where he could be doing and getting towards the ball. I could understand if he moved that Chaos Dwarf back. Yeah, see, that's... with a 3 agility, I would think that would be a little bit harder. But we're still not in a terrible position or anything here. I could potentially make a dodge to here. Wouldn't be too difficult. Moving up with my guy with guard. Then getting a good block off there. Do I want to stand this guy up or not? Not sure if I want to leave that position or not. I'll just stand him up for now. So if I can get the ball free, then I mainly would probably be chasing it down with the catcher that's free here. Just looking at anything else I want to do with any other players. I could even do a blitz and hit the Bull Centaur here with the assists I already have. I don't need to blitz to hit the ball carrier. I'm already adjacent to him. I just need someone to move up for an assist. Then I wouldn't even have to make a dodge roll there. So yeah, we'll go ahead and try that. See if we can knock him out of that position. Possibly hurt him would be nice too, of course. Not super likely, but it's always possible. If you want to get injuries, you got to throw blocks. And the stun helps. That's for sure. And let's hammer this ball carrier so we can get the ball free. I'm going to stay where I'm at in case, we'll see where the ball ends up. If I move up and have to make then a dodge roll out, it's just making me roll more dice when I don't need to. So yeah, I've got it basically free there. Nobody's adjacent, so I should be able to score here without too much of a problem. Just looking at whether I want to do anything else first. There's nothing where I've got any real good advantageous blocks or anything anywhere. So we'll see if we can pick up the ball with an 83%.
I don't rate that player's chances of still standing at the start of the next turn.
Now I've got to go for it to get the score. I've had incredibly bad luck with going for it rolls. I don't know if anyone else has had that experience. I've had entire games where every time I've done it, and rerolls, and my opponent has done it, and rerolls, they have all failed. So I'm actually much more nervous than you would normally think for something that's only supposed to be a 1 in 6 chance of happening. My experience, it's much closer to about 50%. I don't know if that's my personal experience or if there's something off with the algorithm, but it almost always, if you fail, the reroll also almost always fails. So we're just going to go for it, see what happens. I used to go for it all the time. Previous game, didn't really feel like there was anything odd about it or off about it. But in this game, I've definitely felt like something's off, and I need to be much more careful about making those going for it rolls. Don't know if that's just me. So the other advantage, of course, is that the chainsaw guy and the other star player both counted as having secret weapons. So because play stopped, they are both off and out for the rest of the game. So he's down those few guys now.
Bring to the spectators.
As far as setup goes, I hope that went well. I don't really see much reason to change anything.
But it's so good while it's there.
Just want to make sure nothing changed. Sometimes it'll substitute people when you won't necessarily notice. I think that happened much more often in the previous game than this one. Call it good. And again, we're going to kick just towards the center, hoping the ball stays in play, so he's got to make a roll to pick it up. He gets to move his guys around a little bit. Okay, ball does stay in play. So he didn't move anybody. Maybe moved him over one. Couldn't tell for sure. Defensively, sometimes all you can really do is make it so your opponent will have to roll a lot of dice. So the more dice you got to roll, the less you're likely to roll them all successfully. As far as blocking, if you want to injure people, the more dice you roll, the better the chance you're actually going to come up with something. So you just have to get those dice rolling going.
Because 2 big guys is always better than 1.
Now, if I can get over and get a block on the ball carrier or knock him off the field, I'll definitely try to do that. It requires some dodging, but I might go for that. Take him a little while to get any Chaos Dwarves over there to help cover the ball carrier because they're so slow. Well, this guy's going to be free. I was hoping I'd stay on my feet at least here. No, he didn't even move him. He definitely should have moved somebody over to protect this side of the ball carrier. So here, yeah, I don't mind just standing them up, just to tie people up. Same kind of thing here. It's fine. So you've got block. I could possibly dodge through because I do have dodge here. What I'd have to do is hit from this position. I would have to go for it as well, also to get the 1-die block. So it's a little bit risky. I'm going to do everything else that I might want to do first. Do have my faster guys on this side. Just lap around since we've got an opening with no tackle zones I have to dodge through or anything.
Thinking about what to have for lunch. Roast elf heart or baked halfling leg.
Again, my movement here being so slow with my player with guard kind of limits what I can do. I'm kind of get him in the mix, at least for now. In case things go wrong, I'm going to put him out on the edge here and move him over just to have some additional coverage here. We'll try to dodge through around with this catcher. See if we can get a block on the ball carrier, keep him deep. Just kind of out here in general, just in case. I don't really want to overcommit one way or the other at this point quite yet. So this is a little bit risky and crazy, but we're going to try for it. So there's my first dodge. Didn't have to use dodge for that. Second dodge, didn't have to use dodge. This 83% should be good. Now we've got to go for it to get the block. And the go for it fails. Like I said. Well, it worked, but we got an attacker down. Yay! And an injury. Awesome. It's all coming together. Yeah, no long-term effect is fine. So yeah, sometimes it definitely feels like the AI is conspiring against you. That's one of those times, a little bit. if you're rolling the dice, playing the board game, it's kind of an interesting thing to think about is if you're having bad die rolls, you just kind of think, I've got bad luck today. When it's the AI you're playing against and the dice go against you, especially on a pivotal thing, and everything goes against you multiple times, it definitely feels a little bit more malicious and directed. Here, kind of beating up my guys, but at least he's going to stay on his feet.
They're playing with smart but remaining upright. Pride comes before fall.
How best to attack this? Coming in from the back here wouldn't be too bad. I've got an advantageous block here potentially. Going right for the ball carrier, you can see all the negatives. Pretty bad to try to make dodges to get in adjacent to the ball carrier here immediately. Here, I'd probably like to dodge this guy away, so I'm going to wait to do anything there. See, I'm thinking I'll probably blitz here and try to break in from this side. Maybe move around for an assist to get an advantageous block here, or try to break in something here, get another assist. Maybe that would be a better choice. Putting more people sort of directly in front of the ball if possible. So we can take him down and move up and have the guard help that way. Get another advantageous block out of it. Get a KO too, which is pretty nice. I don't really expect KOs and injuries against these guys, but if you're going to throw enough dice, eventually something will happen. So let's see if we can make an opening here. I might be able to exploit it. So there's a potential here I could make a dodge at a -1 to get in for a 1-die block. I don't really like throwing 1-die blocks typically. I'll do it if I have to, but I don't really enjoy doing that. For me, it feels much safer to kind of come at it from this side, hit this hobgoblin with these guys, maybe put somebody directly on the ball carrier. Looking at skills, is that dodge or is that sure hands? That's sure hands. That's one of those things. The dodge and sure hands especially look very, very similar. So if it had dodge, I definitely want to use the blitzer to hit. If not, it doesn't really matter. As far as angles, I'd probably like to throw the block from here so I can move him away this direction. If I come in from this side, I can only push him to these spaces. So if we can knock him away, hopefully do an injury or something to him would be nice, and then move adjacent to the ball carrier. If I don't take this guy down, or roll double attacker downs, we'll see what happens. Yeah, he's going to go down. I'll go ahead and follow it up just to get somebody adjacent to the ball carrier. He makes him a big target. Kind of doing that with the blitzer because he's got a little bit better armor. So if someone's a target, I'd rather have him be the target rather than my catcher. May throw a block here, even though it's 1 die. I have a skill advantage, so it's not too crazy. think I'll move this guy away from here first, though. Fail another 83% and have a turnover. So I'm sensing a theme in this game. A lot of low odd failures so far. Just gonna hammer that guy. Hopefully stay on his feet. Nope. Stun doesn't help me. He is running out of time. So if he doesn't get the ball, yeah, if he leaves the ball there, I don't think there's any chance he can actually score before the half is over. Just he'd have to move a bit further up, or have somebody further down he could hand the ball off to or pass to get a score. So I could possibly even just kind of ignore the ball carrier and just go for hammering other people if I can. Especially targeting those hobgoblins. Another KO. Jeez. Yeah, so you can see it's kind of wearing me down here a bit, just by doing damage. I do have my player with guard free. I could move up somewhere to get some blocks. I'm mainly looking at, I don't really have to worry too much about him scoring. Just kind of looking at if there's anybody I can hurt. Or anyone I want to avoid having hurt. Yeah, this guy's job is just sort of keep him busy. Your job is to get hit and get back up again. That's pretty much it. Okay, he doesn't have guard. So I could do something to maybe get a block there. I could blitz and hit this guy. But I am kind of running out of guys to get shots on his players. And I'm ready to go for a hit back here from the catcher. May go for a one-die block on this guy too. Just try to do some damage before the half. Yeah, I could go for the Chaos Dwarf, but their armor value being 9 is pretty difficult to get through. I mean, if you want to do it, you do have to make a lot of rolls to try for it, but I'd rather go after the Hobgoblins, who are more likely to ball carriers. It's not super likely I'll get any injuries, but if there's a chance, I'll go for it. And here we'll just go for one die block. Still have one reroll left. Of course it's attacker down. So I don't think there's any way that he can score at this point. Even if he gave it to the Bull Centaur, who can potentially move up to 9. Not quite close enough. So we're safe from a score here. Basically just kind of wanted to go for that. Any injuries potentially I could get. I think that's all I'm going to get out of it though. I think the AI is quite a bit better in this game than the previous one, but it doesn't seem to pay quite as much attention to how many turns are left and how far it's got to move to have a chance to score. That's really the only thing I think it's a little weak on. Much better about choosing skills and throwing blocks instead of dodging out of positions with bad rolls and things like that. But as far as paying attention to what you have to do to score before the timer runs out, as you can see there, just moving forward by 1, not so good. The more agile teams are a bit better because they can score a lot faster, so the AI will kind of use them to score quicker. But a lot of the teams that are kind of slowly grinding down the field, it's not quite so good at making those decisions. Just getting pounded a bit more. Got another guy knocked out there. Hopefully my knocked out guys will come back, and hopefully his won't.
Those two big guys is always better than
Another stun. Yeah, so if, play continued for him, then he'd be in a pretty good position. He's moving down the field. He's got a really good cage built around the ball carrier. There's not much I can do against it. But in the position he's in, it doesn't really do him any good. Yeah, just for the heck of it. You can blitz if you're down, as long as you declare the blitz before you get up. Just use that to actually throw a block here where I've got an advantage.
He's about to get punched above and below.
Nothing, just a push,
At the same time.
which does nothing because of stand firm. Really wanted to move him out of there if I could, get some more advantageous blocks going. If I could push him away, I'd have an advantageous block there. I could work out, stuff like that. But no. No, no, no. Fortunately, with his movement, I can't get over far enough without having to go for it a bunch to try to get some assists going. Doesn't really matter too much. I mean, he can't score. This is the last turn of the half. Don't really have any good blocks, but I have blocks.
Twinkle toes there.
Yeah, there had at least the skill with having block and him not having block that it was worth maybe throwing a shot. Yeah, and attacker down for the end of the half.
Got everything done he wanted. Since the other team's
A lot of attacker down rolls coming up for me. So we're at halftime, up by 1, and I'll be getting the ball, so that's a nice thing. It's part of the reason why I like doing that. If I can get the ball away and score, and then get the ball, start of the second half, I generally feel pretty comfortable.
They simply have a better dock.
Just gonna steal more of my rerolls. What an odd setup. So he's kicking, so I do know this is definitely his setup. So he's got these one guy with guard here on the side. Weird setup that I don't particularly like going on here. So in this case, since I'm going first, I might put him in the front line just to get an assist. Kind of see what we've got. Looking for my players with block. Since he got his bull centaur on this side, I might try to move up and attack on the other side. My faster guys over here.
Did you know, and I think that astrograv is made from a compound of sand, gravel, bone dust, and the skulls of 5 players' agents?
My catcher's unconscious. No, one of my catchers is injured. Okay. I was looking for my other catcher that I had blocked. I'm like, how come I don't see him anywhere? What's going on? Setup is actually a pretty important part of your strategy and planning and what you want to do and how you want to do it. I think some people kind of skip through it really quickly, but it's something you really should be paying attention to. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and throw him in on this side of the line to kind of counter his guy with guard. If I can get a block with an advantage on him first and take him out, and we can kind of take out the rest of the line. That would be the idea. We're going to keep him deep with kickoff return to go after the ball. What I'll do sometimes is put the catchers right on the line as long as there's nobody over there on the other side. People that might be getting the ball, because it gets me just a little bit closer to the end zone, and sometimes that does make a big difference, especially with slower teams. If you're playing like Undead or something, you just have your ghouls. You want to get as much movement as you can, or you want to score as quickly as possible, if possible. So kind of call that okay. It's a little bit offset just because I'm kind of throwing an additional person in here with guard to kind of give me some help on the front line. See where the ball ends up. Okay, that's not terrible, but it's not great either. Unfortunately, with the setup that he's got here, I can't really get 2 guys on someone on the edge here for a block with an advantage without having to make some dodge rolls. So I've got advantageous blocks already here. Just do anything else I want to do to tie people up. I'm gonna throw this poor guy right into the jowls of the Bull Centaur to keep him occupied. So I think we'll probably just do a hit on this front Chaos Dwarf if we can with a blitz and just kind of see what we can make from there. Just the push, unfortunately. And then I'm kind of reposition over and tie up his faster guy. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the ball here, just in case I need the reroll for it.
Yes, they picked up the ball.
For right now, I'm just going to try to keep it safe. I can pass it downfield if I need to later. Since I am dealing with a slower team, what I can also do is sort of pretend like I'm going to go one way with it while running my catchers downfield, especially if he pushes a lot of his guys over to that side to cover. Then I can easily kind of shift back over and toss it and then get in for a touchdown. If everything goes the way you want it to, anyway. Alright, let's see what we can do on the front line here.
This is going to be decisive.
He's on him now, like a halfling on a hot day.
Just using my guard here to get these advantageous blocks. I can leave him without actually using him, then I can move him as well. Fortunately, these guys are just going to get right up next turn without any real difficulty or problem. No injuries or stuns or anything, they're just going to be right back in my face. So I might need him kind of in this sort of position. I could also throw him somewhere like this to have assists on these guys, shift them out over another direction if possible, get assists there if I wanted. For right now, we're just going to sort of move up, get myself in a position where I might have some blocks. We'll see what he does with his guys. I might have an ability to just kind of run free up the side here. A little worried about if this guy gets hammered, he might have someone who can make it down to get a block on my ball carrier, which I'm not super excited about. So maybe we'll try to fill that hole a little bit better, having him in the way as well. So we'll call that good, I think. Didn't really get a lot of penetration for that attack on the turn, but that's the way it goes, especially against a heavier team like this with a lot of guard, guys with high armor. Yeah, so now I've got a pathway down that side. If I want to just run the catcher up. Just kind of opening up both sides of the field, surprisingly. Just a push, good. If I can stay on my feet, it'll definitely make it difficult for him. And another push. Fortunately, taking out my guy with guard there. There we go. Now fail again. Yeah, nice. Anytime I can interfere with my opponent's team like that and then get a turnover out of it makes me happy. It's part of the reason I like the tackle skill a lot. You can just stand up and help me out. So I could move him up for an assist here. I could run him down the field. I've got things pretty wide open here as well. What I'd probably want to do would be to wait to pass to someone until they're already within range of getting a score. So I'm just going to run him down. So next turn he'll be in a position, if I can get the ball to him, he can get in. Maybe do a blitz and just to hit the hobgoblin that's back here. Not sure if I want to do an assist or also have a distraction on this side that I could go for. I'll go ahead and do the blitz here first, which I probably shouldn't do. I still have some rerolls, so it's not super crazy, but anytime you're taking risks you don't need to, you probably shouldn't. With the way things go in this game. So he's not getting the next turn, he's stunned. He could get up, but I've got him covered. I've got him covered, so making it a little bit more difficult for anyone to get to this guy. Let's have a Hobgoblin free here that he could run around. Don't really have anything in the way of advantageous blocks other than this one on the line. And I could make an advantageous block here as well.
Is this going to be enough to come out on top?
It'll do nothing. So for positioning, I want to put myself in a spot where I'm relatively safe. So next turn, if I want, I can either run up and then toss the ball. Again, I do have strong arm and accurate and all that kind of stuff, so I can make pretty long passes without too much difficulty. Or I could run over this way and toss over the line. I also have safe throw. So I've got a catcher free here, some good targets. Here I'm just going to give myself an advantageous block instead of running down with the catcher. Yeah, just getting all these pushes doesn't help me a whole lot. This poor guy's job is just to keep the Bull Centaur occupied. I've got nothing really here that's... Well, I do have an advantageous block on this side too, don't I? Alright, we'll go for that. Unfortunately, we'll do nothing. Got a 1-die block I could go for. I don't really trust that kind of thing too much. And if I go down and fail it, then it does make it a lot easier for him to run down towards my ball carrier. So I'm happy not taking the block just to sort of be there in the way. So see what he does. Let's see if he pulls some guys away to cover my catchers or not. Even though I can score pretty quickly with this team, sometimes you don't want to. You want to burn some time off the clock. It depends on how things are going, where you're at in the game, how fast your opponents can score, all that kind of stuff. He's just going to stand up because his job is to get hit by the Bull Centaur. So I could pretty easily just kind of run up, toss the ball to him, run it right in. I would like to burn some time, though, and if I can get some injuries in the meantime, I'll go for him. So I at least want to get a blitz and maybe hit this guy back here. Just have a chance to get some injuries in on these Hobgoblins if I can. Especially with this guy, I'd really like to get an injury with him so he'll level up. So I'm trying to throw some blocks with him if I can. Just these pushes. Tired of the pushes. Kind of advantageous block there. Got an advantageous block here. Same ones I had before. So anything advantageous I'll go ahead and go for. I probably shouldn't, but I will. I'm going to stay put, so I have other blocks here with an advantage too. He doesn't have guard, so I can get some hits in here if I want to. Target the Hobgoblin first. They're my main priority. Probably should have stayed instead of followed that up. Then it would have given me an advantageous block there as well. Got some one-die blocks, which I'm not super comfortable with. So stalling, if I want to stall, I could run up. I can't really get a good cage going around my player, so probably it's better for me to just go for the score at this point than to try to stall. I'm not going to push the one-die blocks. We'll just go for it here. So 83% pass, 83% catch. No problem. And then we're in range, we can just run right in. And that's why I will sometimes leave catchers in different positions within running distance of the end zone, just so you have that chance. If things go right, you can get the ball free and get it to one of them, and they can score instantly. It's nice to at least have the chance at it, even if you have to roll a lot of dice or have, maybe it's only a 50% chance, maybe it's a couple 50% chances, but it's still a chance. If you have nobody downfield who's within range, then you have nothing you can do. It's nice to have an opportunity, even if it's not super likely. It might work.
All the knockout players are back on the field. How did that? Despite being in the lead, this team now has to kick.
Just want to check if anything weird happened with my players that are out here. So I threw out this guy as an extra, which I suppose is fine. So we're back on the defensive here. Just check the stream really quick. All right. Same kind of thing where I'm just trying to kick to keep the ball in play since I don't have the kick skill. Just want him to have to roll dice to pick up the ball if possible, because that means he might fail. Still quite a bit of time left, so he can kind of beat me up and grind down the field. Unless I can disrupt the cage he builds around the ball carrier, or kind of chase down the ball carrier in the backfield, he's probably just going to kind of slowly pound his way through my guys and work his way down the field. With agile teams, you can score really quick. The problem is just getting the ball away from your opponents. So a lot of that's going to come down to the chance when it comes to the blocking dice and things like that. But gotta make the best of what you can with what you got. But of course, knowing that if things can go wrong, they will go wrong, because it's football. So not bad, guys down, but no injuries. Just gonna try to keep them occupied. These guys stand back up. Heading towards the ball carrier here if we can. Fortunately, this guy's so slow, we're just going to move him up to get an assist here while we can.
Smells like a good old-fashioned fight.
Tie up his hobgoblins here. Gonna keep tackle zone coverage. We'll probably blitz here, hit this guy, move on down. Coming in from this angle, try to push him over. Stay put, leaves me free so I can run around some more. We get a KO, which is nice. So I temporarily have an advantage in the number of players until I get KO'd or injured. It does do this if you take somebody out with a blitzing player. It kind of makes it look like you can't do anything else with the player, like it's done. But as long as you click on him, you still have movement, you're fine. Alright, we'll take our advantageous blocks where we've got them. Not really any good place to throw him. Tie up another dwarf here if we can. Keeping him deep in case things go horribly wrong. So that's probably about it for my turn. He's got some guys free, so with these guys here in the center, and maybe him, he could definitely build a good cage somewhere in this area. Let's see what he ends up doing. Be nice if he messes up something in the process, leaves me an opening. Doesn't always happen, but sometimes. Actually going the other way. I didn't expect him to go there. I thought he'd kind of stick towards the center. Yep, pretty good cage going here. Just a push there, thankfully. Another push. Only helps if I can stay on my feet anyway. Which is why block is so nice. There we go. There's a nice turnover. Kind of too late. He already built his cage, but still. Stops him from doing some other things. Things I probably would not like. You know, just stand him up and keep him busy. Here, I think we'll just move up for an assist for a block here. For attacking the cage, not sure. Got some options.
Personal, Bob.
You need to be close. So close they can smell your breath and see the dead insects in your teeth.
Thinking about just leaving a catcher free somewhere downfield here. So if the ball does come loose, I'll have somebody who can go after it. The ball's definitely not coming loose this turn. I'm not going to get a ball hit on the ball carrier here. But try to tie up some of his guys. Now I'm going to probably blitz here and hit the hobgoblin from this side. Got a block here in the way. Just try to break in from different angles. Tie up as many guys as I can. Another push. Go ahead and follow it up. It's me on the ball carrier. I've got some assistance here already. Where do I want your corpse? It's not a corpse, but you know the feeling.
This player likes to be well assisted.
More pushes. Should try to push him away from what's going on. So now he's free, but he does have such a short movement. It's kind of hard to get him anywhere useful. Oh, we can come over here for an assist. Actually, after playing Undead, like 5 movement isn't terrible at all. If you're used to playing a really slow team, 5 movement is not that bad. But it can seem like it when you're used to playing much faster people. It's really noticeable if you go from kind of a slow bruiser team to a really agile team. It just kind of feels like a totally different game, all the amazing things that you can do. But kind of on the reverse, it can feel kind of stifling going from a fast team to a very slow team. Even if they are really good at beating up your opponents, it can feel very strange at first. So each team can be almost like a totally different experience playing the game, especially going through a campaign. Unfortunately, we got a lot of pushes, so that really didn't do a lot. We just kind of shoved people around. We've got a big target here in my blitzer, but I have hung up some of his guys, making it a little bit more difficult. He's got this guy free mainly, so we'll see what he can do. Just a push is helpful. Fortunately, we got somebody with guard right in there now. So now he's just shoving me around, like I was shoving him around. It'd be nice if those 1-dice blocks would go against him. But at least just a push instead of something worse. Yeah, now he's going down. There we go. Part of the reason I won't re-roll a 1-die block if it just comes up something like we both have block, and it's fine. There are much worse results that can come up. Well, I can get somebody with guard next to the ball carrier, but unfortunately this Chaos Dwarf also has guard. So it'd be nice to take him out, and then maybe I can blitz somebody around and hit the ball carrier from behind. Or even here I could dodge out and then hit the ball carrier. He doesn't have guard. Okay. I do have a catcher relatively free here. I could move in. Lineman should be able to dodge out of there. So I've got options for things. I'm just going to stand him up for now. I'll tie that guy up. So I'm going to go for this block and see if we can take out the guy with guard first. Push really doesn't help me. Kind of restricts where I can hit him from pretty much only to here. If I want to get 2 dice on him. You don't have block or anything. Fortunately now I've got to make dodge rolls to get through from this side, so he's really my best choice. And we failed the 83% dodge. Again, going for the ball carrier, and something critical with a very high chance of success fails.
This could be a sack. I love it.
And there's the double attacker down I was kind of half expecting.
That wouldn't have happened in my
Things like that are what make you think the computer might be cheating.
This formation gives him a safe progression.
Cheaty, cheaty, cheaty. Yeah, my guys can stay on their feet here. It'd be pretty safe. Or safe-ish, anyway.
Less annoyance with you.
The carrier himself blocks. That's really risky. There's the ball carrier.
Okay. Kind of a problem with the cage he's got going on here. There's no coverage in front. This guy does have guard, so that is a bit of a problem. But I've got people with guard too. Yeah, here, I think we'll just stand you up. Keep him occupied. Give him a little help. Probably going to hit the ball carrier with this guy. Don't really have a good way to get him out of this position, so I'll stand him up. He's kind of a big target, but not much else I can do. If I hit from the front, it will knock him back probably to here. If the ball goes free, it'll end up out here somewhere. So I want to hold off using him, especially. He might be able to get the ball, and maybe him. Maybe you can grab the ball, move around, hand off. So I think I'm just going to go for the ball carrier first. If I end up just pushing this guy in the way again, then it's going to make things more difficult.
Put pressure on the ball. Can't argue with that. All this focus on the ball.
There we go. Didn't even have to use a reroll. See where the ball ends up, though. Lots of failures. Okay, so it's in slightly open. There's two guys on the ball. -2 to pick it up isn't great, especially when I don't have sure hands or anything. I'll go ahead and just leave him here, sort of blocking things. Take a block here. Another push. So I can definitely try for the ball. 50% chance. I do have a reroll. Yeah, we'll go for it.
Not what you'd expect.
And we'll have to use the reroll. And we fail. Definitely feels like the dice are against me here. But he's definitely running out of time. So I don't really think there's any way he can score at this point. Be nice if he failed trying to pick up the ball. That's kind of what you expect playing Blood Bowl. We burned a reroll there. He can only use one reroll per turn, so even though he's got more rerolls, it doesn't really help him too much once he's burned it for something like a block there. KO doesn't help me too much. Keep his guys occupied. I might be able to get the ball free here still. Maybe. Anyway. Yeah, poor guy, just kind of stand up, keep him occupied, keep getting hit by the bull centaurs, and guys, it's kind of your job. So if I can get a good hit here and free him up, I might be able to move him up to get some more advantageous blocks. And of course we're just pushing. Alright, so we can take this guy down. Free up the catcher that way. Yeah, unfortunately, the angle isn't really great. I can get a block on him. I could even get an assist if I use both of them. Ball will be free. I wouldn't mind necessarily not using him for the assist, because then if the ball gets free, he might be able to grab it. If I want to use him for the assist, I've got to make at least one dodge roll. That shouldn't be too hard, right? Alright, we'll blitz here and see if we can dodge away first. Okay. I'd like to come in from this angle, that way I can knock him back this way. Hopefully the ball would end up that direction as well. And I'm going to stay put. We'll see where the ball ends up before I decide where I'm going to move. Use him to grab it if I wanted to. He's got a less star player points. I don't necessarily want him to be scoring. I'll just move adjacent to it, try to protect it. I still have an advantageous block here that I can do. But what I'm going to do first is grab the ball, hopefully. Move, run away. So I could go for it, but I'm not going to. Like I said before, I've had horrible, horrible experiences with going for it rolls failing. So I think I'm just going to deal with being in that position. Just kind of see how far away we are here. The bull centaur would be the main problem, most likely. Possibly this hobgoblin as well. Yeah, he can get to me if he goes for it. Just be a one-die block, though. Yeah, I'm not going to go for it. We'll just kind of sit tight. Yeah, because of this guard, it's still just a one-die block. But I do have block, and he doesn't. So if there's anything else I want to do first, I'll do it. And we'll just kind of move up so I can maybe use him if I need to. It's the end of the game here. There's really not much else I can do. I wasn't really looking at the turns there when I was thinking about scoring next turn. Even if I tried to go for it, I wouldn't have been in range, so couldn't have scored anyway. It's one of those examples of when you're streaming and talking and stream of consciousness and stuff, kind of missing some things or not paying attention to 100% of everything. It's a little distracting to kind of talk as you play, but not too bad. It's really the timer that distracts me way more than anything else, honestly. If I had an unlimited timer, it would be totally fine. Not a problem at all. So that was all I could really do. Couldn't score again, so his last turn he's just going to beat me up here probably. Oh, he's going to get a blitz in. Hopefully he'll fail. Fail at going for it. That'd be awesome. There we go. That's a going for it. Failed. Now fail it again. Still have my apothecary, so if any injuries come up, I do have one covered. I pretty much save it for deaths, strength or agility reductions. I don't worry too much about one movement off. Isn't too big a deal, depending on the player. 1 point of armor off isn't too big a deal. It's the strength and agility that can really give you some problems. A 2. I'll reroll a 2. That's a little bit better for money. Fan factor stays the same. 2 touchdowns, 1 pass, only 9 armor breaks against his 12. Yeah, you can see, often I really do have very low ball possession with this team. If I have the ball, I'm going to score with it pretty quickly. I'm not kind of driving downfield and scoring as fast as possible most of the time. 2 KOs and get 4 KOs and injury inflicted on me. 54 running, 60 and 14 passing. Not bad. Pretty decent mix of star player points. All of his actually went to the same guy. Kind of interesting. So an injury and MVP. That was the end of the competition. Anybody level up? I didn't see the icon indicating it. No, nobody level up. Probably do, just because, why not? Hire some more people. But yeah, that's the end of this competition. That was the final game after the playoffs. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing next. If I play Blood Bowl, I'll probably play a Norse team at some point. I haven't ever played one, so I do want to do that. But I'm not sure what I'll be doing next. I'll probably check in with my Mordheim game. I may do some other kind of computer board game stuff, maybe Armello, something like that, just a kind of a one-off thing. For other games that I might play regularly, I'm kind of looking at maybe point-and-click game or XCOM 2. I've got some DLC for that I still have never played. It's been about a year since I played it, but streaming that is going to be a lot of streaming. So, yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to be hitting into next. Probably just a few kind of random one-off things next, and then we'll kind of see if I do more Blood Bowl down the road or if we're doing other stuff. Blood Bowl is one of those games that's really easy for me to stream if I'm going to play it. It's kind of why not. Other things, it just sort of depends. I don't stream every game I play as far as different games. Every game of Blood Bowl that I've played, I've been streaming here lately. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. Not sure what's coming next. I do appreciate you guys checking it out. If you're interested in earlier parts of this, all of the season up through maybe about 2 weeks ago are up on my YouTube channel, which is also Disturbing Puppet. I typically will keep things on Twitch for a while, and then I'll upload them there. And then I have some other games. Previous season, the games that I streamed playing a Chaos Dwarf team are all up there. Some other random games I played, the stuff's all there. So if you're interested, please check that out as well. I do appreciate you watching, and hope that you have a good day. Hopefully I will see you next time. Thank you very much.